Hey folks, what's up? Welcome back. Another Poem Masters video, and today as usual we're gonna go over some of the new 6REXs, right? As we do every month, and in terms of where some suggestions in terms of where you should spend your resources as usual, right? In my opinion, the best investment in terms of 6REX is just whoever you like, right? Your favorites, your favorite sync pairs or your favorite outfits or whatever, right? Those are usually, again, my suggestions. Like, they're all they're all nice, right? But again, if you guys do want a bit more parody, I guess, right? If you guys don't really care that much about them, or if you have like multiple that you like and you kind of want to pick and choose, we could go over these, right? In terms of the investment and just how much worth I guess they are, right? So before we get into the new units, I'm gonna talk about some of the slight changes that we made to the previous ones. Again, these don't change like too much, but there's a few. We kind of split the or added a tier in between the okay and nothing much. In where we moved Wally down one, Iris down one, Lance up one, and Musharna up one. Musharna up one because like she has an okay sync nuke. It's just that again you don't really use it that much because you have like Mew to nuke anyways, right? But again, it's an option. Lance because you can run like a sync build with Lance to get like rejuvenate and like some other sync stuff with Lance. Again, it's not the best, but it is an option. Ours moved down a bit because like yeah, she gets carry on, but it's not like the best deal in the world, right? And then Wally moved down a bit, even though he does have Cakewalk. One, it's not that ideal to go for it. And two, it even if you go for Cakewalk, like it doesn't really do that much damage on it anyways. So yeah, moved him down a bit, but again, it is an option if you want to go for that, right? Let's see. Was anything else moved? Oh, Susan and Lisa moved up one just because like she does have the sync move countdown that does kind of help in that aspect, I guess. And Susan and Cynthia got moved down one, because again she does do a lot of things on her sync. It's just that like it's like not like that big of a deal, right? And there's like a lot of comps where you probably want to sync with someone else instead, right? Like her sync is good, but it's not. It's I guess not as big as a priority. And plus her sync nuke damage is only a 50% buff. It's not like a 2 times or any higher multiplier, right? So yeah. Anyways, there's that. But yeah, shout out to the folks who kind of check this with me, so I get a bit more other input, right? A runner and CS, Troop Agent and Rule Palmy from our Discord. So shout out to them. Anyways, getting into the new units, right? So starting with, I guess let's go from the right. Guzma, I could put in helps, I guess. A lot of people say, "Oh, Guzma is crazy because he has a whatever nut sync nuke," and then it's like, yeah, but no, because does he have a multiplier on his sync? Yes. Is it a nuke? Not really. I mean, it's only a 20% buff in catastrophe. Like, it's nice, but it's not even like 50%, which like people up here like Lance or Ace Rail, like they have 50% boost. Like he's just like a 20% boost, which again, nice to have, but not the biggest deal in the world, right? Moving on. Let's talk about May, I guess. May probably put in the nothing much. She just doesn't. She's just like Cynthia or Blue or whatever, right? Like she has a sync. It's a mega sync, which is okay. Like you have to use it, but you don't get much from it. There's no like sync move multipliers on it, I guess. It's just nothing special, right? Like if you see like anyone on top of this tier, like they have like some kind of like multiplier or something extra that they get on their sync, which May doesn't really have. Oh, also I moved Luzamine up one because I don't want to like put her out in like a tier down there, which even if you do EX her, I guess you can. Just use some like offensive buffers to like buffer, I guess, so you don't have to worry about that. But again, The downsides, not that great. Um, Moving on, let's do Barry. I guess Barry could put it in the great usage, right? Decent sync nuke, being AoE, all that stuff. Is nice, right? Well, not decent, really good sync nuke. It's just, kind of gets overshadowed by Mei a bit. But outside of that, if you don't have Mei, a fantastic sync nuker, right? Moving on, Berg, we probably put here, put him here as well. He does get move gauge acceleration on his sync. Doesn't really get anything else, but, support plus something really nice on the sync would probably warrant this tier, right? If you see with the two lilies, which one gets heal, one gets gradual heal, right? Dawn has a solid sync nuke, right? In terms of like the other supports that are on here, Berg is kind of in line with that instead of like Hilarica or Skyla, which Skyla gives like +2 attack on sync and a bit of a sync nuke as well. And then Erica's like gets endurance on sync, which I do think move gauge acceleration is a step above those two, right? Moving on, Elio, I could probably put in the pretty decent here. It's kind of like Erica, like you get something on the sync, but it's not like a big deal. It's status cure, right, for Elio. Get rid of you got team sync cure 9, which again, it's not the biggest thing in the world. It is really nice for a stage that obviously status you, but again, it's a more of a niche situation. But again, as for being a support EXs are always really, really nice to have, which is cool. Celine, we could probably put in the pretty decent tier, right? Her sync nuke's not bad, right? And she kind of really needs it because she really doesn't have anything else, right? So you kind of have to go for that. And then, yeah, I mean, again, a lot of people like comparing her to Brendan. If you go like full sync nuke, she could definitely do more than Brendan in terms of the sync nuke. It's just that her regular move damage is just incredibly low, right? So like, and between Brendan and Celine, I guess you could sort of decide for yourself, right? If you want to, I mean, if you like them both, you could EX them both. But in terms of like, if you just need one grass type sync nuker, you could maybe get a bit more value out of Brendan, I guess. But then again, like Celine, it's more so like it's more like it's slightly more necessary because again, if you're not nuking with Celine, you're just not getting much out of her because like everything else she does is not very great, right? But anyways, moving on, Leaf we could put it all the way up here. Fantastic upsides. Leaf is kind of like a Celine situation as well. Like her sync is not bad, right? You get recuperation on it, you got +2 stats for your whole team. But it's more so like you need her to be 6REX to like really justify using her, right? Because it's like really hard to like actually justify running Leaf on a lot of teams, which is why 6REX gives you like an extra justification, right? Like, for example, like it's kind of hard to like run Leaf over like a Skyla or a Xerneas or like some other like Sabrina, Hilbert, any of these other supports because like she's just not really, she's a bit of like she's very old, her build, right? She didn't, unlike Hilbert, her synchroned expansion didn't really keep up with the times, unfortunately. She has a very, very slow play style, and it's just, unfortunately, her upsides just aren't that great enough. Which is why it is more so like of a necessity to sort of EX her to make her more usable, right? So there's that, I guess. Again, this tier list it's not a which units are better, right? It's not, again, it's just in terms of how much value you get out of EXing a certain unit, right? And again, this is just for EXing, not the 20 out of 20 stuff, right? Which you get along the way, but it's just more so how much value you get out of EXing them and then using their sync moves, right? Yeah, it's again, for the billionth time, this is not a power tier list, right? Like Nate is not Nate is not better than Bunny May, right? Nate is not better than Cynthia, right? It's just, again, in terms of just investment value or whatever. And also, they're not ranked within the tiers. It's not like, oh, left side's better than right side or whatever. They're not, again, ranked within the tiers either. Again, if they're within the same one, it just really depends on yourself, which one you like a bit better, which one you could find a bit more use for in terms of like your whole team, in terms of what like units you have, right? There's nothing definitive, lots of wiggle room and personalization in terms of like, again, your own situations, right? So anyways, that's me this one, I guess. Hope you guys enjoy. You guys can get the comments down below, like this video, so channel for some more massive content. See you guys in the next one.